Hello children, welcome to the YouTube channel of Velkin National School, Vasai East. This is Mrs. Mamata Biju, your subject teacher of SST. Today I will be teaching for standard 8 that is civics, chapter number 4, the Indian judicial system. Along with the legislature and the executive, the judiciary too is an important organ of the movement. While the legislature makes the laws and executive implements the laws, judiciary gives justice. In this chapter, we will learn how judiciary works to give justice and thereby helps in removing injustice in a society and establish a healthy society. But before that, let us understand why giving justice is necessary. Now children, in this paragraph they have explained that now as we have studied in the earlier chapter that legislature and the executive are the important organ of the government. Same way judiciary is also important. Likewise legislature make laws and executive implements the laws and judiciary gives justice. So to keep the society healthy, it is necessary to remove injustice. So let's understand why giving justice is necessary. Opinions, thoughts, perspective, belief, faith and culture differ from person to person. If people are tolerant, they can avoid conflicts. But if differences of opinion are very sharp, they may lead to conflicts. They should be resolved impartially and in accordance with the laws. For this purpose, an unbiased judicial machinery is required. Conflict of interest may arise between individual and the government. A decision or law made by the government may seem unfair to people and they may approach the court of justice. The government tries to implement the objectives of social justice and equality laid down in constitution. The judiciary through its decision in certain cases or through active involvement can support the government. The court can help to bring the weaker sections of the society, women, children, differently abled and transgender into the mainstream of the society. Now in this paragraph they have explained that every person's opinion, thoughts, their thinking manner, their belief, their faith and culture differs. Now if some people are tolerant, then that conflict can be avoided. If the opinion is very sharp, then conflict arises. So to solve bigger issues, a judicial machinery is required. Now if the decision or law by the government is made and it seems unfair to the people, then they will approach to the court of justice. And when the government implements law as per the constitution, then judiciary takes the decision in the involvement and the court will help the weaker section of the society, women, children, differently abled into the mainstreams of the society. When the common man benefits from the value of freedom, equality and justice, it leads to the widening and deepening of democracy. This is necessary for the strengthening of democracy. The rule of law is protected by the judiciary. The law treats everyone equally, rich, poor, forward, backward, men or women, all are equal before law, and this is expressed clearly through judicial decisions. Judiciary helps to protect the rights of the people. Conflicts are resolved in accordance with law and law prevents emergence of repressive and authoritarian group and individual. Now in this paragraph they have explained that it is good to deepen of democracy by giving common man the benefit from the value of freedom, equality and justice. The rule of law is protected by judiciary and the law gives equal treatment to everyone equally. Like there is no difference between rich and poor or up superior or inferior. Okay, the forward or backward. Now as per the law, judiciary protects the rights of the people. Structure of the judiciary. India is union of states. The center and the constituent states have a separate legislature and executive, but there is one judicial system for the whole of India. There is no division of courts between the center and the constituent states. This means that judiciary in India is an integrated system. The Supreme Court is the apex court under which there are high courts. The high courts control the district courts, following which there are lower courts and which are at the bottom of this structure. Now in this paragraph, the structure of the judiciary, they have explained that judiciary in India is an integrated system because the center and the constituent states have separate the legislature and executive, and only one judicial system is there for the whole of the India. Now there are no divisions of courts between center and the constituent states. So the Supreme Court is said to be the apex court, means the main court, in which there are high courts and the high courts are controlled by the district courts. Supreme Courts. The Chief Justice of India, CJI, heads the Supreme Court of India. The President appoints the Chief Justice of India and other judges of Supreme Court. By convention, the senior most judge of the Supreme Court is appointed as the Chief Justice. The judiciary should not work under any kind of pressure. The independence of the judiciary is maintained so as to enable the judges to fearlessly carry out the functions of the giving justice. For this purpose, the Constitution has made the following provision. Now they have given the picture of the Supreme Court of India, which is in Delhi. Okay. The Constitution lays down the eligibility criteria for the judges. A legal expert or one having served as the High Court judge or an experienced advocate is considered eligible. Judges are appointed by the President. This helps to avoid any political pressure. Judges enjoy security of tenure. They cannot be removed from the post for trivial reason or for political motives. The retirement age of the judge of the Supreme Court is 65 years, while for the High Court is 62 years. Now in this paragraph they have explained that the Chief Justice of the India heads the Supreme Court and the President appoints the Chief Justice of India. So the senior most judge of the Supreme Court is appointed by the Chief Justice. Now judiciary cannot work under pressure. Now to function of giving justice, the judiciary judge had to be fearlessly carried out smoothly. So the Constitution made following provision for that. Now the eligibility criteria for the judge is to have a experience of the High Court and also the experience of the advocate. Now they actually avoid any political pressure, and judges are appointed by the President, and judges cannot be removed from any political motive because their retirement age is 65 years and for the High Court is 62 years. Now their salaries are drawn from the Consolidated Fund of India. So the judges personal criticism means is the practice of judging the merit and the faults of the something. So it cannot be made that. So the Parliament cannot discuss the decision of the judge, and it has the right to remove the judges from their position. means the salaries of the judges are drawn from the consolidated fund of India. No discussion takes place in the parliament. Personal criticism cannot be made on judges for their acts, and the decision contempt of the court is considered is a punishable offense. This not only protects the judges from misguided, wrongful criticism but also preserves the independence of the judiciary. The parliament cannot discuss the decision of the judge. However, it has the right to remove the judges from their position through the impeachment procedure. There is a procedure to remove for the judges, that is called impeachment procedure. Now, judicial activism. Traditionally, the court settles the dispute whenever they are approached for that purpose. In the last few decades, this image of the court has undergone a change and they have become increasingly active. This means that the court now seeks to fulfill the constitutional goals of justice and equality. The court has tried to provide legal protection to the marginalized section in society: women, tribal, workers, farmers, and children. Public interest legislations have played an important role in this regard. Now, in this judicial activism, they have explained in this paragraph that it is a judicial philosophy that the court can and should go beyond the applicable law to consider broader societal implications of its decision. Now, traditionally, the court used to settle all the dispute wherever they approach for that purpose. Now, the court fulfill all the constitutional goals of the justice and equality. Now, it tried to provide legal protection and give more importance in society for the society, for the women, then tribal, then co-workers, then farmers, then children. Now, public interest legislation refers to the issue of the public importance by the individual citizen. Now, the court thinks over the question raised and the decision is given. Public interest legislation refers to the legislation filed on issue of public importance by individual citizen, social organization or non-governmental organization on behalf of the all people. The court thinks over the question raised and gives it decision. Now, I have explained this. High Court. The Indian Constitution confers the Parliament with the power to establish a High Court in each constituent states in the Union. Currently, there are 24 High Courts in India. Now, this is a very important. Currently, there are 24 High Courts in India. There is a Chief Justice along with other judge in the High Court. All the judges of the High Court are appointed by the President. Now, in this High Court paragraph, they have explained that it is the superior court, okay, of a country or a state. Now, currently there are 24 High Courts in India. It has Chief Justice along with other judges in the High Court. Now, all the judges are appointed by the President. Now, this is also an important. The Bombay High Court, you all must have heard about the Bombay High Court. Jurisdiction covers what? The state of the Maharashtra and Goa and the union territories of Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu. Okay. Now, the functions of the High Court is like what they have to do is to supervise and maintain control over the lower courts in the jurisdiction. Means whichever is the lower court, they always supervise for and they take the control of it. The authority to give order to protect fundamental rights, they have the authority to give orders to protect the fundamental rights. Then the governor seeks the advice of the High Court while appointing judges in the district court. District and lower court. These are court at the district and tehsil. Tehsil is taluka level. The people generally go to these courts. Every district court has one district judge. The branch of law in India, there are two main branches of law, that is civil law and criminal law. Now district, in this paragraph they have explained that it is a country district and the tehsil level. Now one district judge is there in district court, and there are two main branches of law, that is civil law and the criminal law. So let's read about the civil law. This law deals with the conflict which affects or interfere with the rights of a person. For example, conflicts regarding land and property, rent, agreement, divorce, etc. After filing a petition in the relevant courts, the said court gives a decision. Now what is civil law? Now civil law is the system of the law concerned with the private relation between member of the community rather than criminals, than military or religious affairs. Now it deals with what? It deals with the conflicts with the rights of a person, regarding the land, some dispute, anything in the land or property, or any dispute in the rent agreement, any dispute in the divorce case, etc. Now when these all issues arises in the court, then a proper decision is been given when these cases are filed in the court. Criminal law. Serious crimes are dealt under criminal law. For example, theft, robbery, dowry, murder, etc. In these cases, the first step is to file a first information report. This is very important. The first step is to file a first information report, that is FIR. Now you all must not be knowing what do you mean by FIR. FIR means first information report with the police. The police investigate the matter and then a petition is filed in the court. If the charges are proved, there are provisions for severe punishment. The Indian judiciary has made a significant contribution in development of the country. Common people have a lot of respect and trust in the judicial system. The judiciary in India has protected individual freedom. The freedom system and the Constitution of India, courts have played an important role in strengthening the democracy in India. Now criminal law. Now what is criminal law? Criminal law, in this law, like theft or any robbery or any dowry or any murder had happened, etc., these kinds of cases are solved in the criminal law. Okay, and if any issues raised regarding this, a first step is to file FIR. Okay, whatever the criminal law is been done in any area or any region, wherever, the first step is to file FIR. Now what do you mean by FIR? The FIR is first information report in the police, and then police investigate the matter and this petition is filed in the court. Now certain provisions are made for severe punishment. Now common people respect and trust the judicial system because judiciary in India has protected the individual freedom and the federal system and the Constitution of India. Court always plays an important role in strengthening the democracy in India. So the common people, whatever the cases happens in the nearby criminal in any of the region or any of the area, so common people first see that and then they go to the and then they take the step of FIR. They file a first step of FIR, that is first information report. So students, this was all about the Indian judicial system. Okay, I hope you all have understood this chapter. Bye students, take care and have a nice day.